morning and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is adolescent females, and we're fortunate to have with us Ms. DMorgan, who is the YWCA program specialist dealing with teenagers and a participant in the Sisterhood of the Brass Ring program, Ms. ROjo1. And let me welcome both of you ladies to the show this morning. Ms. Morgan, what we'd like to do today is to talk about some of the things that the YWCA is doing in terms of trying to deal with adolescent females. And of course, I think that Ms. Ojo simply represents one of those efforts, and she's going to tell us something about the program dealing with the brass ring. But before we get into that, let's talk about the YWCA period, and especially some of its funding sources, and to try to give us as much information as possible about how the YWCA depends upon the United Way as one of its funding sources.
The YWCA depends on the United Way of Middle Tennessee in a vast variety of services that we do provide for the Nashville area. As far as the youth department is concerned, we do rely on their funding because it's very important for us to do the services and to continue those services here in Nashville. We've been funded with the United Way since I've been on staff for the last 5 years, depending on the money coming in to keep the services available to the young people that we serve. And at this present time, we are serving kids in the J.C. Napier Preston Taylor homes and Tony Sudicum homes. So we rely very heavily on those fundings and hope to continue to get those fundings.
And so the Y is concerned not only with teens in general, but they've also decided to sort of telescope your efforts towards some of the housing developments or whatnot.
Yeah, that's correct. And not only that, we have other services at the YWCA that depends on United Way funding. We have the Triangle House, which is a residential service that is for young ladies who are deferred by the Tennessee Department of Human Services, and they rely on the funding too. We also have a prison program which is called New Start. They rely on that funding. We have JRPS, Job Readiness and Training, which what it does is it gets women back into the job force where they have been displaced, or if they had just been out of the job market, or they want to re-enter the job market. And
so you believe these will be some very, very effective programs?
Very effective, yes. And United Way has been a large funding source, in the past, and we hope that we can continue to get those funding sources to keep all the YWCA programs at large, in existence.
Very good. I think Ms. Ojo sort of represents, Mr. Ojo, do you not, one of the programs dealing with YWCA, and that program is called the Sisterhood of the Brass Rings. And let's talk about that, say a few words about that program, Ms. Ojo, and then we'll get back into some of the other things that we're going to deal with today. What about that program? What is the Sisterhood of the Brass Rings?
Well, I think that the Sisterhood of the Brass Rings stands for a merry-go-round at a carnival of unhealthy lifestyles, of teenage pregnancy and drugs. And I think that the Sisterhood of the Brass Ring stands as a ring of healthy lifestyles and gets those people off those unhealthy habits.
Very good. I think that if we look at the status of adolescent females, and let's talk about that, Ms. Morgan, because I think that quite a bit has been said about some of the problems faced by black adolescent males, so much so that many of us often forget that there's a counterpart to that. We often talk about female pregnancies and whatnot, but what are some of the other problems that adolescent females face, minority adolescent females face, that the Y is trying to deal with?
Well, that's why we came in focus in developing this program, which is the Sisterhood Stages. And like Rosaline has stated, what the program stands for as far as the Sisterhood of the Brass Ring is, it symbolizes a merry-go-round at a carnival. And what we're trying to do is keep those young ladies off of the merry-go-round of unhealthy lifestyles where they can grab the brass ring of healthy alternatives. And what I mean by that is where they won't become teenage parents, they will not drop out of school, will not become involved in drugs. So the curriculum that we had designed for the program had those components in educating these youths about these issues. Now, we do have an after-school program currently at McKissick Middle School, serving those young ladies there and at Park Avenue. And the ladies basically live in the Preston Taylor housing developments. We also have another program that is serving J.C. Napier and Tony Sudicum homes. and that focuses on drug prevention. The one at McKissick and in the Park Avenue area, it focuses on health-related issues that affect African Americans, because currently it's around about 3 million blacks that do contact diabetes, and African Americans are not really educated about different diseases that affect them and how they can prevent them. And that's the component of one of our programs, to teach them about these illnesses and ways to educate them and prevent this. Not only that, the after-school program is from 3:30 to 6, and during this time, this was stated in the Tennessean, that during the hours from 3 to about 5 o'clock, that is when teenage pregnancies occur. So we target this time frame in order to eliminate that of the young ladies that may be latchkey kids. And by having a program like this can give them some other positive areas to be focused in on, instead of being home, you know, being a latchkey individual, and being, if their parents are not home, and being exposed to becoming sexually active. So our program is designed for that as well. You talk about alcohol and drug abuse. It was also stated in Here's Looking at You 2000 curriculum that you have kids that are taking or consuming alcohol at an early age, like 12 years old. We also teach with other agencies, Project DARE, in educating these kids about the risk of becoming involved in alcohol and drugs. So we also utilize that type of component. It's a lot of different areas that we do stress with the young ladies.